Incumbent Jacob Frey is now the winner of the Minneapolis race for mayor. He is speaking right now. Let's listen in.
What we saw in these election results show what is the broadest base coalition that we have seen in recent history. We had support, beautifully diverse support from the entire city, and undoubtedly the backbone of our support came from the north side, our Black, Somali, and Latino voters. A huge thank you to them because they showed up in droves for us, and it is deeply, deeply appreciated. I want to thank my opponents in this race as well. These elections are hard fought. They're difficult, and at times, yes, they're painful. Now, importantly, regardless of whether you are for question 2, regardless of whether you voted for me or somebody else, now is the moment to come together. It's a moment to unite. It's a moment to put down the arms and take up a willingness to see true progress. And we know that true progress is going to take real work. And this is a moment of transformation in our city if we can actually come together recognizing the magnitude of this particular moment. And the moment is bright. The bright lights of the national press and the world have been shining down on Minneapolis now for, about a year and a half. And what we are seeing right now is that Minneapolis is shining back even brighter. We are well poised for the progress that we need to see. And over the coming weeks and months, you will see us roll out with both the mission and the vision for where we all need to go collectively. In the area of public safety and police accountability, we've laid out 4 pillars that we said we were going to attack regardless of the outcome of question 2. That is right now very much in the cards. Those 4 pillars are ensuring an integrated approach, bringing all of these different approaches to public safety together so that they're able to work in unison. Number 2, hiring more community-oriented officers, those that have deep-seated connections with the community that they are charged with protecting and serving. Number 3, safety beyond policing. You've heard it throughout the campaign. Every one of the candidates supports safety beyond policing, whether it's social workers or mental health responders. This is something that we can pursue together. And then finally, getting serious about reform on a multi-jurisdictional level. Yes, we have our work cut out for us at the city, and we intend to attack it full-heartedly. Also, that work needs to happen at the state and federal legislatures, and I'm going to be making sure to call on members of the state and federal legislatures to work with us, partner with us, work with us in good faith to get that really important transformational reform and accountability work done. We do have an opportunity right now as a city, and we need to make sure that every single bit of potential in Minneapolis is realized. Also, I'll note that question 1 passed. And I've said before, I think question 1 was probably the most important thing on that entire ballot. There have been many mayors going all the way back to Hubert Humphrey that tried to get this change to have a government structure in Minneapolis that was more efficient and responsive to the residents that we need to be serving on a daily basis. This allows us to move in that direction. We have already and are already bringing together a coalition of people that are ready to set up this new government. This is indeed a founding mothers and founding fathers moment right now. We can set up a government that is more responsive, that is more effective, and is more collaborative. That's the direction that we need to go, and we're taking this measure and this approach very, very seriously and getting that work slingshot right off the bat. A deep thank you to my campaign team. You all worked tirelessly. I don't think it's any secret that we have been hit and beat up and bruised from every single side, and they've shown a backbone of steel. I want to thank my team at City Hall. They've been through thick and thin with us. And it's an extraordinary group of people that cares so deeply about the residents of this city. I thanked my wife, Sarah, last night. I got to thank her again. There's no way I'd be able to get through, I would have been able to get through these last couple years or even the last couple days without her. She's the strongest person that I've ever met in my entire life. We've got a real team here, but importantly, this real team will be joining forces with all of the other teams that were perhaps on opposing sides. And so I'm calling on everyone to come together, to reunite around common principles and values, and to work with us in good faith towards the progress that we all collectively need to see in our city. I'll open it to any questions.
Mayor, you talk about integrating public safety, police, mental health, social workers. I mean, does that look like a new department of public safety, but with the police department? Are you envisioning a new department for all of this?
See, I think over the last year we've gotten so caught up with the verbiage and the names that we've often forgotten about the work. The goal here is to integrate the approach.
But how do you do that?
The goal here is to bring multiple different entities into a consolidated approach, department, division. I mean, right now, the person that managed our COVID-19 response is also managing violence interrupters. It's a dramatically different form of service that we're providing our city, and I know that there is a way to bring all of these groups together. And that's part of where the partnership is going to be going forward. I think everybody agrees with that. Obviously, there were portions of question 2 where there was significant disagreement. First and foremost for me was this notion of having the head of public safety or the commissioner or whatever you want to call them report to 14 different people, 13 council members and the mayor. I didn't think that was workable, and clearly the majority of our city agreed. But now's an opportunity, yes, to integrate the approach. I don't want to prescribe exactly what it will look like yet. But we're going to be rolling out in conjunction with a whole lot of people in the coming weeks and months.
But are you partnering? Are you kind of waiting for the new council to come forward? I mean, you're looking at more than half the council looking different than it does right now.
Yeah, there's obviously some significant turnover. The work will start in the immediacy. Undoubtedly, it'll take more than a couple months to get everything set up in full. So yes, the new council would ultimately be sworn in by that time.
Have you talked to the chief yet about staying?
We were just texting this morning, but it was mainly just, congratulations and moving forward with the next steps. I know the chief will be talking with his family, which was foremost on his mind, and we'll be chart next steps from there.
What's your first move with the police department?
The first move with the police department? Well, first off, it's those 4 pieces. It's moving forward on those.
The first thing you do, how do you get all these officers who are leaving to stop leaving?
So I think something that needs to be recognized, perhaps nationwide right now, is that cops need to get paid more and fired more. We need to make sure that we're incentivizing the best possible, most skilled and professional individuals that have deep-seated connections with their community to want to apply. We want them to decide that they want to be the change in the Minneapolis Police Department that we're all pushing for, and sign up to do exactly that. To get officers that live in our city, to get officers that have a deep-seated connection, whether that's through attending a church or a mosque or a synagogue or volunteering at a homeless shelter or a food bank. These are all ways that you can have a deeper connection, and we need to incentivize those individuals to come on the department and then ultimately to stay with our department. Now, on the other side, for those officers that don't abide by the values and principles that we are insisting upon, yeah, they should be fired. And I think now is an opportunity to work collectively with the state legislature around real reform. You should hold mayors and chiefs around the country accountable for shifting the culture of a police department. And if you're going to hold us accountable, you should also give us the tools to fire bad cops and have those decisions stick. Right now, as I've said, around 50% of the time when we fire or discipline an officer, they get sent right back because of mandatory arbitration. And by the way, that doesn't even include the instances where we would like to discipline or terminate. And we talk to the city attorneys and they say, well, you could, but you're going to lose. This is a system that needs to get changed. Are there things that we need to be doing at the city level? Absolutely. Are there policies that need to be further revamped? Absolutely. Are there levels of accountability that we need to improve upon even further? Absolutely. The answer is yes, yes, and yes. And there are also barriers that are set up on a multi-jurisdictional level, and that's why it is so crucial that we are partnering together in good faith. So I am absolutely calling on representatives at the state legislature to work with us, to partner together in good faith to get this job done. This is where true reform and change needs to take place. This is where the concrete steps and the specific steps necessary to truly shifting a culture and changing a department can start.
How are you going to instill confidence in those who oppose you? There's a lot of mistrust, so what are you going to do to instill confidence and trust in the camp that opposes you?
Well, we're starting right now with this press conference today, in this moment, calling for unity. Again, let's put aside the less extensive areas where we disagree and pick up the areas where there is full commonality. And let's work together. You know, we're extending our arm and our hand, and we hope that they take the opportunity as well. I think this is a moment where our city can truly come together. I mean, and the results, you know, I mean, obviously there's a difference of opinion. But what we showed is that there is a very strong coalition around the principles that we're pushing for, and we saw that across council races, in the mayor's race, and the ballot questions. I think our city is clear on the direction where we want to go.
What's the next big thing we should expect? What is that big thing we should expect next in your re-election? What's next? What's the big thing that we should see when you get
In terms of, so the question is, what is the next big thing that you're going to see, just in general?
in general?
I think one of the most significant changes that is coming down the pike right now for our city, one that I believe is long overdue, is this shift towards a system showing a clear executive in the mayor and a clear legislative body in the council. And you can't really overstate this. This is a founding mothers and founding fathers moment. And it's going to require an all-hands-on-deck approach with people that, yes, I agree with people that I disagree with. And we want all those partners at the table to make sure that we're charting a clear course as to where we can go, how best to set up this government and this new system that will provide for perhaps generations down the road a better and more functional form of government. That is a huge ordeal. It's very important. And we're going to take that level of importance very seriously.
Can you clarify with that fundamental change in structure of government? What are your biggest priorities moving forward there, other than actually setting it up? What are some of the things that you're going to focus on as that chief executive? And how do you build trust out of that as well?
Yeah, I think there are two overarching areas where we will be working with diligence over the coming months and years. Let me take a step back. The three priorities that I laid out when I entered as mayor are still the three priorities right now. It's still affordable housing. I believe that housing is a right. It's economic inclusion, ensuring that black and brown communities aren't just at the table but are also key beneficiaries in the process. And it's safety and accountability. Those are not mutually exclusive. They are intrinsically linked. But for this particular moment, I think there are just two. Those two are, one, recovery. Recovery with inclusion. Not just going back to the old normal, but blowing by the old normal and seeing through to true transformation in our city. That's item number one. And by the way, our city is going to rebound in fine form. I feel the momentum even as we speak. Number two is safety and accountability. And again, it's getting specific about that work. All of the work around safety and accountability is complex. None of it you can fix with a hashtag or a slogan or a simplistic answer. You got to dig in. And we have been, we will even further. And I'm hopeful that we will be able to dig in and going forward in a united fashion.
Mayor Frey, can you talk a little bit about your goals moving forward with the new city council as it's made up? A lot of voters have been telling us they describe their relationships as petty among some people at City Hall. The outgoing council president launched an ethics complaint against you. That doesn't give a lot of people in Minneapolis a lot of hope for unity if there can't be unity at City Hall. So what are some of your goals moving forward with the new council?
Well, you know, the outgoing council president is just that, outgoing. And moving forward, I believe that there will be a collaborative approach where we're actually working together. You know, look, anyone that is willing to work with us, even where I disagree, we are willing to do so in good faith. In good faith being the important piece. And I'm very hopeful that with this new council coming in, we will get to that work in a collaborative fashion. And, you know, I've talked with many of the new council members that are coming in right now. I mean, they're what, 4 or 5, right? And I'm very confident that they will share a commonality of approach and a willingness to work constructively together. And so, you know, I think it's time to kind of put aside the petty politics that we've seen. It's time to put aside all of that we've witnessed over the last several years and really get to a uniting point as a city.
Is there anything under the new expanded powers or authority you have under this question 1 passing that you think would enable you to be able to do something as the executive in the immediate future regarding public safety that you couldn't already do?
You know, this new structure of government is not about policy. It's about how the government works to serve the people of Minneapolis, about its efficacy, about our ability to respond when a quick decision needs to get made. It's about having a clarity of authority, who has control over what. You know, I mean, so many of the issues that, you know, you pointed out over the last couple of years, they've resulted because under this bizarre system that we are presently operating in, you spend more time arguing over who has the authority than you even do over the substance of the issue. Now we can move beyond that. There will be a clarity as to who controls what. And like I said, you know, this is a system, a similar system to what most every single other mid-size or large city has throughout the country, whether it's New York, Chicago, St. Paul has a system like this. Or Duluth. And I just talked to Mayor Carter this morning about this particular system. And, you know, I'm very hopeful that Minneapolis' form of government will see great benefits from this change.
Thanks, everybody.
What's that?
That's all we got time for.
We go. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate it.